Hi, my name is Bryan Williams. I'm in my fourth year of temporary vows and fourth year of theology in formation to be a Holy Cross priest. And originally from Houston, I am currently living and working in Old College, which is the Holy Cross's undergraduate seminary.
My name is Brogan Ryan. I'm originally from Columbus, Ohio. I'm a fourth year theologian and my fourth year of temporary vows. I'm an assistant rector in Keough Hall at the University of Notre Dame.
So, what all do you do in Keough?
It's funny, the short answer is that I share life with 270 undergraduate men at Notre Dame. So I live in the dorm and I have some administrative stuff that I do. Mostly it's just pastoral, and I visit with the guys, kind of help them answer questions, but anything from, unclogging a toilet to, comforting a guy after his grandma dies, and everything in between. Yeah. How about you at Old College? What would you say you do there?
Mostly help walk with the guys as they discern a vocation in Holy Cross. These are guys who are anywhere from their freshman to junior year of college in seminary for Holy Cross. They live in one of the small houses on the Notre Dame campus, and they take classes and go to formation conferences, and I have the opportunities to kind of meet one-on-one with them and discuss kind of how things are going, where do you feel God is calling you, and then also help give some of the formation conferences and help organize some of the conferences on poverty, chastity, obedience, priesthood, Holy Cross, etc. So,
what's it like doing that while still in formation?
It's like the little gap between the two circles in a Venn diagram, because on the one side I'm on a formation staff and helping the guys through formation and discernment, but on the other side I still am in the process of formation, and it reminds me a little bit of the quote of our novice master, Father Ken Molinaro, who would always talk about us being never leaving formation, that formation is a lifelong process. So, how about yourself?
It's been really interesting. Because I'm here in formation, I get to share that process and journey with all the guys that live here. So everybody knows Holy Cross priests on campus. The rector of the dorm is a Holy Cross priest, and he's Father Pat Reedy, and then Father Nate Wills is also in residence. But most guys have never gotten to know or meet somebody in formation. So to be able to share that journey and my story a little bit with them while I'm still in process has been cool. And it's been kind of an entry into conversation, because most of the guys here are still trying to figure out where God is calling them in their lives, and what they want to do, who they want to become. So I share that a little bit with them since I'm still in formation. Yeah, it's led to some really great conversations and just questions that they have about what it looks like to become a priest, and how long the process is. A lot of unknowns for folks. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's one of the blessings, is that you get to be present with someone in their own vocational discernment, but at the same time living where I do formation, or living where I do ministry can be challenging, in that I'm constantly present to them and being with them, but also I'm getting over to Moreau where some of our peers are, and trying to kind of stay in contact and living in community with them, also getting to know some of the brothers and the priests on Holy Cross on Notre Dame's campus that live and work here. It's exciting, but it's a growth.
Yeah, I love that part of it. So living where we're ministering and really just sharing life. We share the highs, we share the lows. We pray with the guys at daily mass. Sunday is a big community mass for us. But then also within that context, call the guys to become more and to live better in community with each other. And I think living with them is really a privileged spot to be able to do that. We're not somebody who are on the outside, but we're literally just sharing their lives with them. And then from that position can help them become better community members, better Christians, better men. Yeah.
What advice would you have for people who are out there currently discerning a vocation to Holy Cross?
Yeah. I think my advice to anybody who's discerning really anything, let alone a vocation or a vocation to Holy Cross, would be to just talk to somebody about it. I think oftentimes we hold those questions and those desires because they're so deep and personal to us. We hold them deep within, and oftentimes they can weigh on us. But talking to somebody about it, whether it's a friend or a family member, a priest or a confidant, I think helps us to process that a little bit and then to grow in it. And that, like I said, I've been privileged to be in the residence hall this year and to share life with all these guys. And even in the short time that I've been here, be able to talk with guys about whether it's what major they want to study, what job they're looking at, whether to do an internship. And some guys who are discerning religious life, priesthood, marriage. But those conversations, no matter where they lead, are always fruitful, always helpful. How about yourself?
I would say that there's a specific fruit to be able to discern in the midst of a certain amount of living that practical life. When you think about someone who's looking about getting married and you say, okay, well, like you meet someone and say, oh, I like this about you, or I think you're a beautiful person, and then you decide to hey, want to get coffee or go to the movies, and you start to spend more time with that person. A similar parallel could be said for, I think, discerning religious life and the priesthood. One of the best summer ministry placements that I had in my time in formation was living with Holy Cross priests and brothers, ministering over a summer. And it was everything from being able to partake in their active ministry roles to sharing breakfast and conversations with them, asking them kind of what's been some of the challenges so far, what have been some of the joys, but also plugging in the small moments of setting up for Mass, doing the dishes, keeping the house clean, hanging out on a Saturday night. It's going in and living the day-to-day life well and with intentionality was very significant and formative for myself and my own discernment. So that would be my advice to someone. Jump in.
Yeah. I think finding time to actually ask those questions and to be quiet and still is also really important. Mm-hmm. Whether we're in high school or college or post-college, our life kind of builds and builds and builds and moves so quickly that oftentimes we don't find time to ask those questions and to reflect on them. And then all of a sudden we end up at a spot where we either need to make a decision or we want to make a decision. And we haven't given ourselves the time or the space to necessarily do that. So carving out, whether it's 5 or 10 minutes a day to just sit and reflect, or a day a month, or whatever it is, I think that's really important for discernment.
Some good advice.
Yeah.
So, awesome. Well, it's been good.
Yeah.
Okay.